Hello, and thank you for joining me today. As you can see, I'm diving in fast and furious, covering up these 3 gesso boards that I just didn't care for anymore. They were too small, so I put them together, and I didn't like how the paintings were coming out or really the color scheme, so I decided to change them up, which I'm allowed to do because they're my art panels. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is taking control of your art practice. Big part of that for me is what I'm doing right here with the paint, and that is to just go for it. I'm taking some paint and just dancing to a song. It's one of the things that I really like to do, especially for backgrounds. It's just fun to swoosh the paint around and paint the song the way that it looks in my head, because music and sounds are actual color and images for me. So it's really fun to just go for it and put that on there with whatever you want to paint with or draw. However you conduct your art practice, at some point you got to get in there, get your hands dirty, and just start messing around with it. That's the only way that you will find what you like to do, the medium you like to use, how you want to use it, and it starts gaining you just the basic skills that you need to conduct art the way that you want to. And that's what I'm doing here, back and forth, just swirling the paint around. I'm not thinking too hard about it. I'm just going with the flow. And now I'm coming in with some more white to move on to the second part of taking control of the art practice, which is to practice your self-analysis. After you start to get comfortable and you're familiar with your tools, with what you want to say, what you want to do, now it's time to start analyzing yourself and taking a step back and going, okay, I really like this. These are the things that I really enjoy. Are they doing what I want them to do? Do I have control over that? How do I get better at that? What do I like? What do I not like? The not like is important, and I know a lot of people don't like to think about that, because sometimes you just want to get hyped up about your art, and that's totally cool. I like doing that, and I have friends that when I need to pick me up, I might ask them, be like, I could use some kind words today. But it's really important to also assess what you don't like, and not in a way that tears yourself down or requires other people run in and come save you from yourself. In a gentle way that says, okay, I can see what I did well, but what would I like to do better? And how do I go about doing that better? That's really where the self-awareness comes in. It's like, okay, what do I not like about it? Is it the way the paint's flowing? Is it the brush strokes? Is it the color? And it's important for you to develop that skill for yourself so that you can analyze your own paintings and find your way forward. What's the path forward? Is it getting better at something? Is it just practicing it? Do you need more knowledge for it? What are you missing? What are you missing in your puzzle at this moment in time? Sometimes that's really hard to pinpoint, and you just don't know what's going on. I've definitely reached that area several times, and I've asked friends for advice. And that comes to the third thing that I would like to recommend, which is very important to me, and that is accepting criticism. I know, criticism sometimes can be very harsh, and I would say you want to seek out criticism from reputable people that you care about what they have to say, whether that is an art teacher, perhaps a fellow artist that you know. It could be your close family and friends. It could be your target audience, whoever's opinion that you value enough and who you maybe won't hate later if they say something a little harsh. Accepting criticism is a very important life skill in general, but it's an exceptionally important skill as an artist, because part of what we're doing as an artist is to communicate with the people around us via our art. For me as a visual artist, it's an entirely visual medium. I'm fond of words, and sometimes I like to include them with a poem or a title with my art, but primarily I want the pictures that I'm painting to speak for themselves, whether it's just, oh, that's a beautiful painting, or it's supposed to be a commentary on something. Maybe it's just me sharing my internal world and what's going on. either way, I need to know if I'm effectively communicating with my audience. So I like criticism. I personally actively seek out criticism and make sure people know that they can give me criticism without me taking it personally, without me no longer liking them and deciding, I don't want to talk to them anymore, or them to look at my art. It's scary. Art can be very personal. It can really, really hard to hear somebody say something negative about your art. So if it's something you have to work up to, do it in baby steps. Ask a trusted source. But it is something that you will need to find somewhere on your journey in your art practice. Just my opinion. You could totally decide I'm wrong. That's your right. But I suggest being able to accept criticism. And that leads to the final bit, which is love what you do. Because even if somebody gives you a harsh critique, you don't want that to stop you from doing what you're doing. It could be motivation for you. But either way, at the end of the day, if you're going to invest as many hours into it as you will need to get your art to a professional level, if that's what you want, to get it just to a hobbyist level, if that's what you want, whatever you want out of it, there's different levels that you can invest in it. But at the end of the time, if you're doing it in the first place, I hope it's something that you love. And that doesn't mean that it's easy. I think people often can mistake art especially for, oh, well, it's fun, so that must be easy. You must just, oh, it's so carefree, and it's not. Composing is really fun, but for me, to get the layers that I want, to go after what I want, to do the studies on perspective, on form, on brush strokes, on everything that goes into a painting, and to doing my art practice the way that I want to do it to achieve the results and the communication that I want to achieve, sometimes it's really, really hard. It is hard to seek out new information and knowledge and then to practice it for hours on end, to sit at an easel, to use a paintbrush over and over again. You use muscles in your arms and your hands that you may not really use in other areas of your life. So it's good, but I love it. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. I want to be doing it for forever. I still don't think I'll be able to paint absolutely everything I want to paint before I die. I hope that I do it until forever. I love it so much. And that's a really important part of me, of my art practice, because I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. There wouldn't be any point to it. It's hard, but it's absolutely worth the pursuit. Oh, as I am finishing up these flowers, I hope that this advice gives you something to reflect on. Even if you don't take it and use all of it, I hope that maybe some of it ring true for you in a way that you can utilize for your own practice. I'm simply sharing what has worked for me and how I'm currently proceeding forward and finding the new levels that I am in my artwork. And just give it time, actual time, not a week, not a month. Give it lots of time and let it actively find you pursuing it, and you will be rewarded for your efforts. These little flowers, I've been using a dagger brush just to answer potentially a couple of questions. That is a dagger brush, and I just liked how the lines came through, similar to the longer brushes. The shape is similar to what is usually used for pinstriping and some lettering. So that's something new that I'm exploring as I practice self-analysis and figure out what I want. Here is the finished painting. I hope that you enjoyed watching its creation and that potentially you're inspired to go and create your own. Stay creative, stay happy, and I will see you next time. Bye.